Good evening and welcome to KiniNews. Here are today's headlines. Not many people are happy that Najib Abdul Razak gets to leave the country, and now this includes Dr Mahathir Mohamad.
Former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad has described Najib Abdul Razak as Malaysia's first VIP criminal who has been given special treatment. The Langkawi MP questioned the Court of Appeal's decision to temporarily return Najib's passport, which would allow him to travel to Singapore. Mahathir said the move was extraordinary. Commenting further, Mahathir said the consideration given to Najib is different from other ordinary citizens who were charged and imprisoned. On October 22nd, Najib applied to change the dates of his passport's release and return, which were initially on October 20th and November 22nd. His latest application is to get his passport back on October 25th and return it on December 6th. He said this is because he was tasked to assist Amno's machinery in the upcoming Melaka state polls.
However, Dr Mahathir's comments have left Najib feeling a little puzzled because Najib feels he used the proper channels, which are the courts.
Pekan MP Najib Abdul Razak responded to former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad's claims that the Amno leader was given special treatment by the government. Najib said he applied for the temporary release of his passport through the court and not the government. Earlier today, Mahathir called Najib Malaysia's first VIP criminal for the alleged special treatment. Mahathir also said the return of Najib's international passport was an extraordinary case. Mahathir claimed Najib was treated differently from others who were charged and convicted. The High Court in Kuala Lumpur last year sentenced Najib to 12 years in jail and 210 million ringgit fine after being found guilty of corruption, criminal breach of trust and money laundering belonging to SRC International Sendirian Berhad. The High Court also allowed for a stay of execution on both the jail term and fine pending an ongoing appeal.
So while opposition leaders are disagreeing about whether or not Najib should be allowed to leave the country, that is not going to stop Najib from packing his bags because the courts have allowed the extension.
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak has been granted an extension of his temporary passport release for him to go to Singapore. 3 separate benches of the Kuala Lumpur High Court this morning allowed the accused's application. Deputy Public Prosecutors did not raise any objections during the 3 separate proceedings. Previously, Najib had been convicted and sentenced for the 42 million ringgit SRC International corruption case. For the record, Najib is in the process of appealing before the Court of Appeal. Najib also has 3 other pending criminal cases before the 3 separate High Court judges in Kuala Lumpur.
It's come one, come all. The government will not be restricting tourists from any country from visiting Langkawi. All are welcome.
Langkawi will be open to tourists from all countries starting November 15th. This was announced by Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Nancy Shukri. She said strict procedures will still be in place to curb the spread of COVID-19 at the resort island. She said this will include using travel agents to arrange their entire journey and they will not come directly to Langkawi on their own. The international tourism bubble, she said, was introduced to help the economy recover from the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. She added that the government could not afford to wait too long to reopen the tourism sector to foreign tourists as it would cause locals to lose their jobs.
When we're back, you'll find out what the fight in Melaka is going to be looking like. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsors.
Shellfish, red meat, and beer. If you love indulging in these foods, you may end up with high uric acid level in your blood. These foods consist high level of purine, a substance that will eventually break down into uric acid and be excreted through our urine. It is recommended that the amount of dietary purines should be kept between 600 to 1000 milligrams per day. Having too much uric acid in your blood can cause attacks of gout. It can also cause kidney stones and blockage in the kidney. The crystallization of the excessive uric acid in your blood can be eased by reducing purine-rich food to only 100 to 150 milligrams daily, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and consuming urinary alkalinizer like Ural. It consists of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and sodium citrate that increases the urinary pH and solubility of uric acid to prevent crystallization. Best of all, it's lemon-flavored and sugar-free. Ural, effective urinary alkalinizer. Neutralize your uric acid problem now.
Welcome back. Bersatu has chosen its allies from Melaka and it's going to be PAS and Gerakan.
Bersatu, PAS and Gerakan. These three parties will be contesting under the Perikatan Nasional banner in the Melaka state election. This was announced by PN Chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin. The decision was made yesterday by the PN Supreme Council in a special meeting after Amno had indicated that it will not be working with Bersatu in the snap polls. Muhyiddin said seat negotiations between the PN partners will be finalised by a committee. The Melaka election was called following the dissolution of the State Assembly on October 4th after 4 government representatives withdrew their support for Chief Minister Sulaiman Ali. Amno President Ahmad Zaid Hamidi had said the party was sticking to its decision not to cooperate with Bersatu in any election. This prompted Muhyiddin to say that PN will likely contest in all 28 state seats in Melaka.
Meanwhile, what's going on in Amno? Their decision on how they will face Melaka snap polls will only be known on Thursday.
Amno Youth Chief Ashraf Wajdi Dusuki said the party is prepared to face the Melaka state polls without a pact with PAS. During a press conference at the Amno headquarters today, he said the party has been contesting without PAS for the past 60 years as Barisan Nasional and they've not had a problem. However, he said Amno grassroots are in favour of collaborating with PAS. He said whether that comes to fruition depends on PAS. As it stands, PAS has committed to participating under the Perikatan Nasional Coalition in Melaka. Currently, an Amno-PN alliance for the Melaka polls is uncertain because Amno's annual assembly had decided in March that the party was not allowed to collaborate in an electoral pact with Bersatu. Ashraf said a final decision will be made by the Amno leadership when it meets on October 28th.
Faisal Azumu today faced the wrath of opposition MPs for his comments on Pandalela's allegation.
Puchong MP Gobind Singh Dio told Parliament today that Ahmad Faisal Azumu was not fit to be the Youth and Sports Minister. This comes after the minister reportedly questioned national diver Pandalela Renong for bringing up old stories of a former coach's alleged sexual misconduct.
Menteri ini tidak layak menjadi Menteri Belia dan Sukan kerana beliau tidak memberikan sokongan kepada mereka ataupun apa yang disebut oleh Pandalela. Saya nak tanya kepada menteri ini, adakah menteri ini tahu bahawa tidak ada had masa untuk aduan-aduan, khususnya aduan yang membawa kepada masalah jenayah? There is no time limitation in criminal law. Jadi memang ada, kalau ada aduan walaupun ianya lama, ianya seharusnya diambil tindakan. And you as a minister should set the example and stand up to support athletes like this in your ministry.
Last Thursday, Pandalela shared on social media that she had a coach who liked to make lewd jokes, but athletes could not do anything about him because he had the backing of the head coach. She claimed the coach committed rape 7 years later. According to Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Thi Lian Ke, the coach's services had since been terminated with immediate effect, while the head coach's contract was not extended.
However, according to Faisal, the comments were taken out of context.
Youth and Sports Minister Ahmad Faisal Azumu said his response to national diver Pandalela Renong's allegations against a former coach was taken out of context. He clarified that his ministry just wanted to seek further clarification from Pandalela as well as others involved in the matter.
Saya sendiri perkatakan di dalam satu sidang media semalam mungkin telah dicatatkan secara out of context dengan izin oleh media bahawa kita perlu mendapatkan penjelasan yang lebih daripada Datuk Pandalela sendiri dan juga mereka-mereka yang terlibat di dalam perkara yang melibatkan jenaka lucah dan sebagainya. Jadi saya cuba untuk mendapatkan penjelasan menyeluruh sebelum mengambil tindakan-tindakan yang sewajarnya.
Faisal said this in response to Muar MP Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman, who had asked about the minister's stand on the issue of sexual harassment against athletes. In the Dewan Rakyat today, Faisal said he agreed with Syed Saddiq on the need for a committee to look into cases of sexual harassment in sports and to ensure it does not happen again.
That's all from Kini News this evening. For more stories, go on over to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest news headlines. If you want to support the independent media, please do consider a subscription to MalaysiaKini.com. When you're heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, please try to stay home. I know Langkawi is open, but let's give it a little bit more time. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.